What's up, everyone? I just want to do 3 quick trade recaps over my trades this week. Well, the pound yen trade I've been in since last week, but I took a couple of nice quick little, almost like little day trades. I haven't taken really any day trades in a while. So just wanted to go over those. The summer's kind of in this, summer slums or summer doldrums. People are on vacation. Big boys are on vacation. So sometimes the markets just kind of settle in these, ranges or, these movements that seem like trends, but maybe just be setting up for a trend continuation in the fall, when, people, the big boys come back. So that's kind of something that I think is happening on the pound yen. A lot of people are short right now, and I just wanted to go over a long position that I entered last week, and why I did that, and then I want to go over 2 quick little day trades that I took this week. Currently sitting about just shy of 200 pips for the week that I've closed, but I wanted to highlight 2 little day trades that I took in addition to this one. So let's see. You can see, as a whole, GJ is, I think kind of reversing its trend. We've got a high, a pullback, which in my opinion broke the higher low of the sustained uptrend that we had been in for some time after Brexit. We broke that here, pushed up, broke that low. So in my opinion, this move here is identifying a trend reversal for me. But that doesn't mean that we can't have these complex pullbacks like what's happening now. In order for my bias to shift back to long, to maybe look like to go up to 160, I do have a bullish plan if that happens, and with targets up around 160. 153.83, essentially this high here needs to be taken out, because in my opinion that's our lower high. If that's taken out, then I could see this whole issue or this whole mess as kind of one huge fake out for a push up. So 153.83 has got to, essentially 154 has got to be breached. And then I'll be looking for those long entries for those long-term swing trades to the upside. But let me get into this trade. So outer trend line connecting our overall high and our lower high. We got kind of a nice area that can be acting as a magnet, in my opinion. And once we broke out of this, I was looking for a potential retest of that outer or that upper trend line. And you can see once we started getting those closes above it on the 4-hour, we started squeezing here. And you can clearly see the lower highs and the higher lows, indicating a squeeze, essentially, is what you can call that. And then we broke out of that, and in fact I was looking long from down here. I was gonna look for, it looked kind of like it was setting up a little range here, so I was ideally looking for a pullback, maybe retest it down here around 145.20 area or so, and then I was looking to get long, especially after this. So I actually took a loss on this. Let me show you where I took a loss. This was a couple weeks ago. I have been anticipating this breakout since this move here. And once we put this move in, I was kind of anticipating these higher lows to hold. And I went long somewhere in here, got stopped out. I had my stop just below here, got stopped out by this, this push. That happens, right? I mean, that was I think a 50 pip stop out or so. No big deal. And then we pushed up, obviously. So that's typically what always happens. You get stopped out, and then the market goes in your direction. And this was kind of the idea behind that that planned trade there. This is a daily chart. I did this back in June, towards the end of June, June 21st. June 21st is when I did that and labeled it. And you can see kind of the planned trade here. You know, you got your true lower high, in my opinion. It should not be violated. But that doesn't mean that all these highs within this, you know, structure can't be violated. And in fact, there's lots of stops above each of these, likely, for people who are looking for this downside target. Which that's where I'm looking for. You know, I'm still short from 152.45. I took some profits off around 146, I think, or essentially kind of the retest of this area here. As we came down here, I took some partial profits off, but I am looking for a potential retest of that outer trend line there. That's going to collect a lot of stop losses for maybe another potential push down, and we'll see what happens from there. Like I said, this is just kind of a trade idea, not a signal. Not, you know, I'm not saying this is going to happen. It's just something that I've planned for, and I've actively been trading, and you know, as of right now, it's working out nicely after a quick little stop out. But the profit that I've taken, I took some profits off yesterday as we were testing up in here. So this huge move more than like doubled, you know, covered the loss, and then like, you know, doubled what I lost on that. So yeah, so I would like to see this push up. I'm not sure it's going to happen today just because it's the end of the week, Friday, kind of lower volume, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, we are sustaining price above these highs here. So, you know, it wouldn't surprise me to see maybe a gap above this point here. Next, you know, maybe open on Sunday, gap up, run quick, and then maybe start heading back down. I don't know. We'll have to see. The next week or two are going to be very pivotal for where GJ is going to go. If we break above this trend line, it would not surprise me to see price really kind of accelerate and head for our lower high. But that's, you know, a couple weeks away. As it stands now, you know, my money is to the downside, just based off of, you know, we've had a couple of lower lows and a lower high. This would be a fantastic place once we take these stops around 150, you know, all in this area. Once these stops are taken, that would be a perfect area to put in a lower high than this one. Maybe even break above this to trigger even more people, maybe long, and then go. Because like you know, 153.80s to 154, that's the line in the sand for me, like 147 was. Once 147 was broken, that higher low was violated, in my opinion. So I was looking short. And that's why I shorted up here. Once I saw this, you know, kind of rejection here, I found my entry based off the lower time frames. 152.45 was it, my entry, and that's where, you know, I'm taking it. Ideally down to 140. You know, it would be nice to see a price get down there and retest some of these areas, some of these lows. There's some nice, some nice profit targets down there. It's getting long. Let me get into the other trades here. So USDCHF, similar, kind of made some highs, pullback, trend line broken, established a range, 2 taps on top, 2 taps on bottom. Once I saw the bullish presence out of the bottom here of this range, we squeezed, broke back above that trend line, or that squeeze, and in doing so, or we squeezed before broke out of the squeeze, filled the range bottom, and then pushed back above it. In doing so, we broke this trend line. I found a confluent entry down around here, and took it, almost got stopped out. Price came within about 10 pips of my stop before it finally pushed up. I was expecting this to happen, not necessarily right this time of the test, but you know, because we're in a uptrend, you know, statistically, you know, any type of range structure would break up to the upside for trend continuation. But I wasn't anticipating that. I just took it off at the top. 60 pips on that trade. That was a nice trade. Pound dollar last night, nice 50 pips on that. We've since pushed way back up above where my stop was originally. So again, pound dollar has nearly tested its true higher low, in my opinion, the way I identify a range or a trend. This is the last ditch effort. If this gets taken out, then I could see $20s again. So I'm looking for, actually, now that I see the bullishness coming out of these levels, I'm likely going to be expecting this to break eventually. We kind of broke it here, like a fake out almost, and maybe triggered some people long, because I know some people have been anticipating this breakout, but you know, not sure it's ready yet. But anyways, you know, I saw a nice little opportunity for some quick pips last night during Asian. So we're in this downtrend. Obviously, the structure has been holding essentially, and we broke yesterday or the day before. We broke our kind of immediate little uptrend on the 4-hour chart. Once we broke, we retested it. I missed that retest, but so on the lower time frames, you can see a little bit better. We kind of once we broke, we put in kind of a little corrective structure, broke to the downside, put in a new low, but quickly sucked back up and retested that. I'm not sure if that was news or whatever it was, but we retested that. And then once we did that, we pushed back below it, had some consistent closes, no real bullish presence, and then closed below that. Once we closed below that, we established another little kind of corrective structure. And on the 15-minute chart, you could see kind of price trading below that. My entry was right here. Stop was just above the little impulsive move that broke this to the downside. And then my target, like, I wasn't expecting this thing to go all the way back down just because of the bullish presence above our true higher low. Remember, there's a ton of orders in and around this area because the bulls will fiercely protect this. So once, you know, the bears have to be really dominant in order to just clearly break this on one shot, and I'm not sure they are quite yet. So yeah, and you know, this just kind of is confirming that, I guess, you know, now that we've broken this. So this has to be broken though, kind of similar to how we had a little fake out here. Just on the flip side, you know, we had a little fake out here. Once you know, 33.63 is going to be broken, then you know, I'm definitely going to be waiting for some kind of pullback and opportunity to look long, maybe up to some higher levels there, maybe up to, you know, this kind of, maybe a retest of our last little resistance level here. I could see that happening up around 36, 37 area. I'm wrapping up my time here. This got long. They always do. So I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. If you like this, let me know. Subscribe, share with your friends, and I will talk with you later. Take care.